Hello everybody, what is going on? What's going on today? Welcome to Just Visiting. I'm Eric. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jonathan.
This is Jonathan. Yeah, this is weird. We're together, and I'm used to looking at the screen and just seeing the other side.
Also, like the camera's up here now.
I know it's a little. I'm actually a little uncomfortable talking to you like this.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
feel like you're too close to me.
I know. Like, and there's usually this like cyber wall that's in the way.
And like thousands of miles as well.
Yes, exactly. It's very weird for everyone. But we are here, and we are spending a little vacation together, which is nice. Really enjoying it. And so right now, you guys are watching us, and we are in an undisclosed location in Georgia.
Top secret.
That's it. So we're in Georgia right now. And just hanging out. What's up?
Your headphones are in shot, man. This is a professional. This is a professional setting.
Sorry, my bad. What? We're not actually streaming. We don't have equipment or anything.
Like, but no.
Yes.
This is a professional setting.
That's why I'm wearing a shirt. That's great. Anyways, we are thankful for everybody watching today, and we got a lot of different topics we're going to be talking about today. But a little bit of a shorter show. We've been doing a few shorter ones lately. But this one's, hopefully not going to run too long, but we just wanted to at least get an episode out while we're together because, we have to. It would be a sin not to. So, anyways, what's the first thing we are going to be talking about today?
A great question. We want to cover the Ms. Marvel trailer first, and then we can get into our second view.
I think so. You think we can share it on here? I think we should go and just have the people watch it with the people?
If they can, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's watch it with the people. So, guys, if you guys didn't know, today we both woke up. I think one of the first things we actually said to each other was like, "Hey, the new Ms. Marvel trailer came out," which was kind of funny. But yeah, it did come out today. If you guys don't know, Ms. Marvel is a TV show, Disney Plus TV show set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, obviously, and it is.
Do you know when it's coming out?
I don't. I think there's a release date on the trailer. They've already released the release date.
It's got Moon Knight coming out next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Ms. Marvel after.
Moon Knight's like next week, I think, bro.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm really excited. After watching the Batman the second time, it's like I want more. So like, if you're gonna get me off-brand Batman,
I was really hoping like it would come up while we were together, so we could watch the first episode together. But it's fine. I'm trying to learn, guys. I want to do if you go to Disney Plus, it has this cool feature called Group Watch, where you can basically have an open chat while you guys are watching the movie or TV show together. I would like to kind of start doing that for our movie weeks. We didn't do Iron Man because we just it was really busy this week.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's all right. We didn't end up watching Iron Man. We will try to watch it maybe this week. Maybe we'll get a chance to watch it together before we end the trip. But anyways, I'm going to pull that Ms. Marvel trailer up. But Ms. Marvel is connected to Captain Marvel. A few other facts. Her name's Kamala Khan. She is a Muslim teenager who's kind of like a fangirl. She just loves all things superhero.
Yeah, Kamala, not Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala. Kamala. Who says Kamala?
I don't know.
I've heard Kamala, like Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
I think she actually says her name is Kamala, like it's not Kamala.
Oh.
That's like how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Because I've heard different takes on her name as well. I feel like I've even heard her pronounce it differently.
Maybe.
So.
I have no idea. Anyways, guys, we're going to be sharing this trailer with you, so bear with us just a second. And we're gonna get it pulled up. But anyways, her superpowers. She's kind of recently come to fame for the Avengers video game. She was like one of the main characters in that video game.
Which is so weird that everyone doesn't like that video game, but everyone likes Kamala Khan.
It is weird. Well, honestly, like that video game, most people like the story. That's always what I heard.
Okay.
Is they liked the story itself. They just didn't like the gameplay. Like I heard that from a lot of people. They were like, the story's pretty good. It's kind of interesting, but like I just hate playing the same things over and over again. But I couldn't get through the game. But have you played much of the game recently? Did you
No, not more recently. I tried to play it. I was like 2-3 weeks ago, and I was just like, wasn't feeling it. But I've been on a Batman kick recently. So
yeah.
I'm trying to grind through these Riddler.
We should just hook it up and play Riddler trophies.
Yes.
I'm down for that.
If you can finish those Predator maps for me, that would be bueno.
There was a time where I was playing like all the Batman games, and I was like a stud at combat. I was just getting so good. But what sucks is with those games, like each one's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So there's like, if you switch to the other one, it doesn't perfectly. The system doesn't move.
Transfer over.
Yeah, it doesn't. Perfectly transition. So.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The first game Asylum is definitely a lot more unforgiving than the other.
Oh yes.
With the combo.
Yes, you have to be very precise.
Yeah.
He's also. I feel like he's a little slower.
Yeah.
Too in that one, isn't he?
Yeah, he's less graceful in Asylum for sure.
Yeah, I would. Honestly, the one that has the best combat. I love Arkham Knight. I mean, Arkham Knight probably does have the best combat, but I would say the best combat overall for me that was most enjoyable was Arkham Origins.
Really?
Yes.
Origins. Wow, that's surprising.
If you played it, you would notice like how much, because they were able to build off of the Arkham City system, so it feels a lot smoother when you're transitioning, when you're like hitting lots of different enemies. In Arkham Knight, you kind of feel overpowered. Like it doesn't take much because you're at your peak, right? You're supposed to be at your peak physical condition, so it's kind of like. It doesn't take very much to knock guys out, but in Arkham Origins, you kind of get like exactly what you'd want with like timing and flow, but also it's not too easy unless you use electrocutioner gloves all the time. Just like then you just take people out. But anyways, guys, this is the first. Is it a teaser trailer? No, it's the official trailer. It's the official trailer of Ms. Marvel. So we're gonna go ahead and react and watch. Which I like the vibe that they're doing in the trailer.
So first off, I just
like blinding lights.
I get it.
You get what?
It feels very much like
Kamala. Another adventure
Kamala.
shirt. Cute.
So her name.
She thinks I'm some kind of weirdo.
You were weird.
What's that game with Michael Cera? Scott Pilgrim vs.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You're staring
I
out
know
the
the clothes and
window
stuff.
in your little fantasy land.
I do, yeah. I don't like her costume, but I think it's supposed to be she made it. So.
Already? Really? Come on, like.
Do I have to figure out my whole future before lunch, or is your lips? Maybe they're right. I spend too much time in Fantasyland.
That is not you.
It's not really the
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping her parents are supportive of
safe
her.
world.
Because I liked in the comic, like in the video game,
That's fantasy.
like her dad was super supportive, right? For like these superheroes and stuff.
Did something happen to you?
No, why? Did you hear something?
Kamala? What does it feel like?
I'm curious to see who's the villain.
See, I don't like. I agree with you. I don't like the way they're showing her powers. They're trying to like hide the weirdness of it.
Do you know what you are?
Are they only gonna? Is she only gonna have big hands?
I think the force field. I don't remember her having that.
I don't either. It could be something in the comics. I don't know much about her comic origin, so
I just assumed she was like, the girl, Mr. Fantastic. That's always kind of how I pictured her in my mind.
Me too. I've kind of thought that as well. I was like, well, she's kind of like Mr. Fantastic in her power. So what she can do is she can basically grow her limbs different sizes, and that's essentially her power. So like she's like Mr. Fantastic in that way, like you were saying. Like she can basically make her hands really big. Her thing that she's known for are making her hands and feet big, but she can like grow her body kind of tall, not like Ant-Man, like different.
Mm-hmm. It's more like a stretchy kind of tall than like your actual body size.
Yeah, exactly. So like I don't know. I didn't like all the cosmic stuff side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, they said that she has some sort of connection to Captain Marvel, so maybe that's part of where she gets some of her powers, or
maybe
there's supposed to be some sort of overlap.
Yeah. What's weird though is like in the comics, at least what I know of her origin, the only little bit that I know is that the reason because I remember the first time I heard of her, I was like, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. I'm really confused how this works out. But I always read the reason that she took that name was because she's a big fan. Her favorite superhero was Captain Marvel.
Wasn't Captain Marvel at one time Miss Marvel?
I think she was later. Yeah, I think she has been.
She's been a bunch of different things. She's been Spider-Man as well. But
which is weird. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, thoughts on the trailer. What'd you think?
I'm kind of meh. I actually, the first thing that surprised me was like the style of the trailer. It feels like they're doing like a John Watts Spider-Man thing, like Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like that, which I think I'll like, especially for someone who's in high school. I kind of wish they wouldn't do that for everybody who's in high school, though. I've liked her in other media, you know, like I've liked her in video games, and I want to say I saw her in something else too. Maybe I've only played her in video games because she was in like Lego Marvel Superheroes. Mm-hmm. I thought she was kind of an interesting character in that, which I mean, you're not going to get much character development in those games, but like I thought she was just interesting as a superhero. I liked her in the Avengers video game. I thought there was a show. There may have been a Marvel show that I saw her in that I thought she was kind of interesting in. But her personality's fun. You know, she's just kind of like a really. It's kind of like somebody who lived in a world where superheroes were real, like who just loves superheroes, and that's kind of what she is. So that's kind of almost like Spider-Man, but like more so of a like fan person. Like has posters, action figures. Reads comic books.
It's like if a fan became a superhero, this is what it would be like.
Yeah. So like that was one thing that they said that they focused on when they created her character. I'm semi-excited for it. I'll just have to wait and see. I'm not really. The thing is, I did not like the movie Captain Marvel, and so I'm wondering if Captain Marvel is going to be in the movie. I know that Kamala Khan is supposed to be in The Marvels, like the sequel, because I guess everybody's supposed to be in it. Like what's her name? Monica Rambeau is supposed to be in it. Captain Marvel's supposed to be in it, and at least that's what they've said. So I don't know. What do you think of the trailer?
You know, the thought I just had was maybe the reason why they're not giving her definitive powers. Mm-hmm. Maybe they could come later, right? Yeah. I don't know that, but maybe it's because that's a lot harder to CGI with a TV show.
Yeah.
Stretchy limbs. I mean, she literally her palm can grow the size of a city street, so it's like that may be just too hard.
She gets super strength when she does that too. She can like crush a car. Or she can. So it's not just like, it's not only she gets that. It's like she grows and then she gets super strength.
Yeah, unlike Mr. Fantastic who just stretches.
Yeah, exactly. Or flattens or whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of more like Plastic Man. Fantastic Four or Mr. Fantastic is kind of more like Plastic Man.
Yeah,
that's kind of more of, if you guys know who that is. What else did you like about the trailer? Didn't like?
No, I love the lights, the song. It was kind of weird that we didn't get a villain, at least a peek at a villain in the trailer, in the official trailer. Like if it was a teaser, I could understand. Like us not seeing the villain yet. They're trying to kind of showcase her.
We didn't see a villain at all, did we?
No.
And there may not be a villain. Like I don't know. You don't have to do a villain in every show.
You know I guess not. I don't even know any of her mainstay villains anyway, so it's not like I would be like, oh, I know that guy, you know.
She probably, I don't know if she's one of those characters that like has villains, you know, necessarily.
Like a Rose Gallery, maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean. She's not a derivative character in the sense of like a Nightwing or a, some of DC characters. The derivative characters have more. They kind of have like their own. Villains, sort of, but I don't know if she actually has her own. I think she's just focused on the team up. I've always seen her in like team up stuff.
That's true. That's the only comics of hers that I've read is when she's teaming up with somebody else. I'm very interested to see how they play on her her religious background as well, because I don't think we've really seen that in a Disney sponsored show.
Yeah,
we got that a little bit in Daredevil, but that wasn't really Disney's doing. It was more Netflix.
That's true. Yeah, no, we haven't really. We actually haven't gotten much indication to like other religions in the MCU. I mean, there's a little bit, but not really. They've kind of kept it quiet.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how her parents can like. How do you how do you make sense of there being a Thor in your universe while you're still trying to,
while you're Islamic or Christian or that's the weird thing, because like when there's literal like gods in the thing,
exactly.
It's kind of crazy, especially because they've already said that Norse mythology exists, right? So like, I feel like if you knew that Thor was real, you would have a lot of people going to that religion, right? Like you would just have a lot of people being like, this is the true religion or whatever. So just like if Zeus or Hercules existed, but I don't know. Maybe in this world they just don't focus on that. Maybe they don't have that,
or maybe they don't consider themselves like that kind of being or power.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Thor would be like, I'm a god.
I feel like he would say it.
Loki would though. Loki would.
I think he was called the god of mission. I mean, well, Thor's been called the god of thunder.
Yeah.
The first Thor, so I don't know.
I know, we'll see. But I'm probably more excited for the show than you are.
I think so. I'm kind of like, man, we'll just kind of see how it goes. That's really where I'm at. I don't hate her character, but I'm not like a fan either. I'm more excited for Moon Knight probably than anything.
Yeah.
I know a little bit more about his character, and I've kind of wanted, because I knew he was a darker character, I always wanted to see more of him. But we'll just kind of see. I think it's funny that she dresses up like Captain Marvel too at the beginning, which is funny. So I think they're definitely going to probably be like, she's a fan of Captain Marvel route.
Think we're going to get some Mean Girls in there?
Oh, of course. They're probably going to call her like lots of racial epithets too.
Oh, you think so?
I would not be surprised.
Wow. I'd be very surprised, honestly.
You don't think they call her like brown, like little brown girl or something like that? Really? You don't think so?
No, I don't think.
I could see something.
I don't think Disney has the guts.
Really?
Like that. No.
You don't think they'd be like, why don't you go pray to like Muhammad or something? You don't
no.
Think really?
No. But that doesn't translate to real world. Even if you're thinking that sort of persuasion, I don't think even you would conceive of a reality where someone like walks up to you and insults, Muhammad or your God or something like that.
What if it was like a bully at school?
Maybe more like. Well, I just think about Mean Girls. I'm thinking like girls are different. They're not like, guys are more like direct insults. Girls are more like slip it underneath. Like she was like.
We'll probably have some like.
She's like, you working in a business shirt again? Wow, that's nice. It wasn't a direct insult, but it was like she insulted you. You know.
There might be some kind of like you're ugly. You know what I mean? Like not straight on you're ugly, but like oh you're such a nerd, like that type of thing. Probably you're a geek. Which
we run the world now. I mean, everyone's a geek now. Yeah.
Nobody told me that.
What?
In the world?
Yeah, man. All the movies that everyone watches now. Everyone plays video games now. Everyone thinks they're a comic book expert now.
That's true. Anyways, we'll move on from that. The only thing I didn't like the trailer obviously was kind of like the brown girls don't usually save the world. I was like, okay,
Well, there's Monica Rambeau. I guess she doesn't count though.
No, she doesn't count.
Or Captain Falcon. I guess he doesn't count either.
Well, he's not a girl. He's a man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Trendsetters. That's what it's all about. It's all
about trendsetters. There's Nick Fury. Oh no, he's a guy. That's true. Anyways, she's the first one.
Well, there's Black Panther's people.
Oh, Okoye?
Yeah, Okoye. And
yeah,
man. They're all black.
Well,
they're very black.
Not brown though. Anyways,
There's a difference.
There is a difference. Anyways, crazy stuff. But anyways, I am looking forward to it. I'm just kind of like, I'm more excited for other shows that are coming. But I think the vibe is cool. So, anyways, we're gonna sum it up there. Next thing we want to talk about a little bit is, I don't know if you guys heard, but Tom Brady is back out of retirement within like 3 months. That's crazy. Who does that?
But not super surprising though, right? Because when you've devoted that much of your life to football, and then you take just a mere couple of months to get away from it a little bit, and you go, man, do I really want this to be my life now? Not being competitive anymore, even though I'm still at the top of my game.
Yeah, especially when you are playing that well. The other thing that's kind of crazy about Tom Brady, I think, is that he almost won the Super Bowl this year. Like, he almost won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, like, why would you give it up when you're that close? You know what I mean? So that I think on one of our other podcasts, I said I didn't think he'd retire for like 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
And so I was very surprised when he actually said he was going to retire. Because, I mean, he's kind of at the top of his game. So what did you think about that when it came out?
I think it was more of a family decision. I feel like his wife might have been more like, hey, like, you're getting up in age. I don't want you to get hurt. You've already made your money. You've already won your championships. We would really like you to be home now.
Yeah.
And he kind of was like, fine. Like, I really have accomplished all that you really can accomplish in this sport.
Yeah.
Everything else is just literally sprinkles on my cake. I've already done the icing, not just
got the MVP.
Yeah, sprinkles. He's got all the championships. He's won in different divisions, different conferences, different teams. So it's like, what else is there left? Like, what other?
It's hard to criticize him. You know what I mean? Because he's kind of done everything.
Yeah,
in the realm of football, anyways.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like early on it was a family scenario, kind of like asking him to come home, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'll come home. And then realizing how much he was going to miss it, he was like, I really need to go back. Like, I need to go back.
And the Bucs were like, man, I feel sorry for that second string quarterback.
He was like, my chance is coming.
He was like, man, I'm going to start this year. And then it was like,
I've been training under Tom Brady for so many years.
Tom was like, hey, man. He just like patted him on the back. Like,
I'm back.
Go.
But I remember in the last podcast, I did talk about how I would have preferred him to let everyone know a season ahead of time that he's going to be. That way everyone can give him some tribute, Like, not that, like, we need to bow down to him or anything like that.
But it's
nice just like, just to recognize what he's done for the game.
Yeah,
the game
don't be like Tim Duncan. Knock on his door. He's like, I'm retired. And that's like literally how they found out. The reporters went to his door and he was like, I'm retired from the game of basketball. And then he's like, I'm done. It was so anticlimactic.
But that's such a Tim Duncan thing, though, right?
Yeah.
He's like not the outspoken guy. He's super quiet.
He's such a Tim Duncan.
He's like a dad kind of funny guy.
I remember when I found out about that, I just like laughed so hard to myself. I was like, that's so.
Like he's the only guy I've ever known to get kicked out of a game for laughing during the game. Yeah, he got thrown out of a game for laughing during a game. So like that's like classic Tim Duncan. But I don't know. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I guess that's my point.
Yeah. It was weird. Were you? I'm kind of not surprised they went back to the Bucs. That just makes sense, I guess. I mean, when you came that close.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think his purpose is for staying? Just because he likes it so much and he misses it, or do you think it's because he wants to win? Do you think it's actually like a winning thing, or do you think it's more like, man, I miss football a lot?
I think it's the competitiveness. I think he wants to go out like having known he can't do anymore. Like physically.
Yeah. I don't know much about Tom Brady, but like I have a hard time seeing him as like I have a hard time seeing what drives him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because he's had so much success. It's just kind of like most guys kind of like just they're like, all right, like Michael Jordan, for instance. He did a lot and he was very focused. And then even when he was, I would say probably at the top of his game, he was just like, I don't think I'm done. And it was kind of like, man, you probably could have played a few more seasons,
the retirement from the first three-peat was basically what he said was, I don't have the competitive fire for this game anymore because I've already accomplished all of it. Like I've won 3 championships in a row. Like what more can I do at this point?
He just needed a bunch of people to tell him he's bad at baseball to go back and play.
Yeah, and a bunch of people to tell him he's old. He's too old for basketball.
To
come back and play. Yeah,
can't play the game anymore.
Yeah,
like the end of Space Jam. Space Jam.
Yeah, but even I think there's something about being a competitive person. I think that like that just competitiveness. If you're still really good at it, it's like I kind of want to go back and just continue to prove to people how good I am at it. Maybe I don't know. I'm not that competitive. I'm just not. I don't understand these guys.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if maybe he was told some things when he was in retirement, like. Why'd you quit? You're an old man now, huh?
You can't play anymore.
Maybe that's what he said, and he's just like, But I mean, he looks really healthy. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. I mean, and you also got to think about a lot of it was we didn't hear he was retiring until like almost a week after the news had already broken. So the media announced his retirement before he even said anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So that could play into it as well. Maybe he got a little upset about it.
Yeah, I thought he said he was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Yeah. He said he was going to take the next couple of months to think about it. And like he was, off away on a vacation with his family, I think. And then the news broke. Tom Brady's retiring. And I was like, he is?
He was like, I guess I am.
Yeah. And he was like, well.
It could have been some of that too.
Yeah.
It could have been just like he felt like maybe they wanted him to retire. So he was like, okay, I guess I'll retire. I don't know. I feel like did Vince Carter do that? I feel like I've heard somebody in the NBA did that too, where the media was like,
I don't know. I can't think of examples.
Anyways, yeah. Well, crazy. Well, I think. I mean, how do you think his season's going to go? Do you think that's going to mess with him a little bit, or do you think it's going to be just as consistent as he always is?
I think the media is going to paint him as a villain for retiring and unretiring, like they do everybody. Like whenever Floyd retires, Floyd Mayweather, he always does a retirement, and then he like comes back and fights again.
Yeah.
But
that money, man.
Yeah.
That money.
And so I think they're gonna be like, does he still have it? Is he still good? You know, had he spent the last 3 months, you know, still like training his body, or is he, you know? I think that's gonna motivate him, really motivate him. So maybe the first couple games will be a little, we'll see,
a little shaky.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he has another stellar season, another MVP season, honestly.
If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, do you think he'll stay around?
If he can still play.
Question.
That's my only thing would be if he can still play. If it was like we lost because my arm is just not there anymore. Because like Peyton Manning, his last Super Bowl, you could tell his arm wasn't there.
Yeah.
He just didn't have it in him.
Somehow
Still beat my Panthers.
Yeah.
Somehow he still beat my Panthers. Well, Von Miller beat my Panthers.
Yeah.
Von Miller beat my Panthers.
He did have a bad game.
Yeah. He just wasn't there anymore. Like his arm wasn't there. So it was like, okay, yeah, you need to retire because you just can't play anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the only way you can get him out of the game is if he like literally is like, I just can't do what I want to do.
Yeah, I can see that. I kind of wonder. I don't know if even if he had maybe he has like a 750 season, like maybe he just wins 3/4 of his games. I still don't know if he would stick around. You know what I mean?
You think this might be his last season?
Maybe.
If he doesn't win the Super Bowl.
Maybe. But the thing is, like, because I'm my mind is just like, why else would you come back? I guess. But that's my viewpoint. Is like, if I were in the professional leagues, I would want to come back to win a championship. Like that would be my goal. Like always, it's just like I want to win a championship.
Absolutely, I think that's definitely his goal.
So I mean, excuse me, guys. So I just kind of wonder, like, why else would he come back if not? You know what I mean? Like, if he didn't win, does he just want to have that season where he goes out on top, so he's chasing that season? Because that could be 3 years down the line. That could be 4 seasons down the line. Like, it could happen, but, like, he might be playing for a little bit longer, especially with some of the... I think one thing we saw this year was there was... you had a lot of young teams take over from the veterans. That's kind of what it felt like. A lot of... Well, I mean, I want to say younger quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford's not too young anymore, but, like... I don't know. It was just that's just kind of what it seemed like with the Bengals. But anyways,
did you hear about Russell Wilson?
I did not hear about Russell Wilson. What happened?
He got traded to the Broncos. He's no longer a Seahawk.
Oh yes, I did hear about that. Yes, I did.
Crazy. I thought he was going to be a Seahawk forever, honestly.
I mean, is he even that good anymore?
Yes.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing.
Yes. I've always thought that losing beast mode kind of hurt the team overall, just because he had a consistency to him that you couldn't replace with anything else. Like no matter how many times you throw the ball, like you just can't replace a consistent running game and a guy who can just break tackles at will.
And then when he came back, he really didn't play too well.
That, and then he went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
So and I think the Seahawks have always been a run first, then defense, then running game. That's always been their MO. Even like Pete Carroll, he's always been a run first kind of guy and throw last. But it seems that there have been some issues between Russell Wilson and the front office because he's been wanting to have more input on what draft picks and trades and free agency and stuff. Yeah, he wants to step into that GM role. Well, I don't know if he wants to literally okay, pick that guy.
Yeah.
But I think he just wants to know that his opinion is being heard and being valued. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's fair. I guess if I was the captain or the quarterback of the team, I'd probably want that.
And you won a Super Bowl with them, right? You took them 2 Super Bowls back to back.
Yeah.
So you would think you would have the right to that at least. And they were basically nah, you're just a player. And so he was like, okay, well, I want to go somewhere else then.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
But they're not going to let him go anywhere, are they?
No, he just got traded to the Broncos.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying he was having trouble at the Broncos.
Oh,
in
no.
the front office.
No.
But at Seattle, he was having that problem.
Yes. And so he got traded to the Broncos.
Gotcha.
Now he's a Bronco.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say about that though? There's a difference between control and opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between control. Like if I don't know if I'd want my quarterback controlling who's on the team.
Yeah.
But I would
well,
definitely.
here's the question though. Does it matter who the quarterback is? So you're saying like no quarterback, no matter how great they are, they can't have any say, or is it like tiered to like, okay, if you establish yourself in this league, then you probably have an understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's I think there's a difference between input and control.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to give you control of who gets to be on the team, but I'll take your input and I'll consider it. That's how I'd be, no matter what quarterback it is, to be honest. Now, if I had a better quarterback, I'd probably take his opinion better. You know, like if I had Peyton Manning when he was, in his prime, I would probably talk, I'd be like, because he seems to understand the game really well. His IQ seems to be really high. I probably would like respect his opinion more than if I had, like
Jared Goff.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Or Jimmy G or something like that. You know what I mean?
Jimmy G's been to a Super Bowl, okay? He's been to a Super Bowl. He trained.
I know, but he's not that good.
Under Tom Brady. Every time I keep saying that to myself, I keep thinking about the Liam Neeson video.
He trained him. He knows I'm trying to think of a good comparison. Like he knows the Patriots defense. Like I don't know. Anyways.
But yeah, no, I think I agree with you. But I probably would. I would view them more as a consultant, probably in my eyes. Like if it was a Tom Brady or Russell Wilson, someone who's been in the league, who's established themselves, who's won some championships, they obviously know how to win. So it's like, I want to help build around you what you think you need most, so that you can win. Because if you feel like you have what you need, then you should be able to succeed with that.
Yeah.
And so it just makes sense to me, like, if Russell Wilson says, hey, I want this guy on my team, it's probably because he understands what this guy can bring to him.
Yeah, but are you going to allow him to basically pick and choose who he wants is my thing. I think there's a big difference between, like, I want your input and I really appreciate it versus, like, you're gonna get to basically, like, here's some picks, pick who you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I don't know, man. That's tough. Yeah, I would probably still side with you then, because the thing about being a player is you don't always see the bigger picture for the team, right? Because you may be thinking like 3 years down the line, while the owner has to think
money either.
Yeah, and the owner has to think 10 years down the line. Like, what happens when Russell Wilson retires? Are we going to be left with nothing, or are we going to be left with something? Like the Cavs let LeBron James just do whatever he wants to, and now they were basically barren for like so many years. So I do agree. I'll probably have to leave it to like a valued input, but it'd be like very highly valued. And Russell Wilson always seemed to me to be like just the nicest guy ever. Like just such a nice guy.
He seems like it. I mean, I don't know him, but I mean, you know what I mean. I've seen him in interviews and stuff, and he seems like he can handle himself. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how I think I would probably handle it if I was a manager. I'd probably just be like, hey, I may even ask for their input. Like, what do you like? Hey, we're thinking about this. Like, what do you think? And I might even, it just, the thing is, it depends how much he wanted. As far, you know what I mean? Like, if it was just like
one guy, then maybe but if it's like I want to build a whole roster, kind of.
Yeah, that type of thing. Like, and you need to also you need to kind of reward the quarterback's faith in the general, the general manager as well. Because if you're trusting the quarterback, you're kind of having this relationship where it's like the quarterback's just not going to bring you input if you don't ever show that you value it to some extent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes you kind of have to take a little bit of a shot. And that's risky. So I guess I could see that maybe from a GM's perspective. But also, like, hey, I want this guy on my offensive line, or I want this, I think this tight end, I know him really well, and I think we would work well together. Yeah. That thing. Maybe the bigger set pieces, like your wide receivers, your running backs, and that might be a little bit more. It might be tougher to like really figure out. But I think, other positions you could probably, there's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
So, but it just depends how much. It depends how much Russell Wilson was wanting. Because like I would side with the GM if they were like, No, he was like a diva, and he was like, I want to basically pick this team. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not going to be successful unless you guys put it in my hands. Or if he was more like, you guys just don't value my opinion. You know, like I've tried to, you know, input into the front office, but nobody really cares. Well, then yeah, I would probably leave too, because like I would, if I was a quarterback, I would want to know my opinions being heard.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. I do think your experience has a lot to do with it, and just the fact that he's taken two Super Bowls back to back, won one of them, is like, to me, it's like that to me would make sure I like be like, hey, so what do you think about this? What do you think? What do you think happens? You know, what do you think about this receiver? What do you think about picking him up? What do you think about him? Do you think he's gonna be good? Think you can? That's a good target for you, or would you prefer someone, you know, that kind of deal?
Yeah.
But I wish him more luck in the Denver.
Yeah. I mean, Denver could use it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
They need a quarterback like the Carolina Panthers need a quarterback.
You guys got one, man. You picked him up last year.
Oh my gosh. So apparently they're trying to get Deshaun Watson now.
Is Cam Newton just gonna be benched?
No. He signed a 1-year contract.
Oh, okay.
So he's fielding offers from other teams right now. They've said they're interested in re-signing him, but
would you want that? No, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't, bro. Don't say you would. You know,
I love Cam Newton though. I do. Like, it's not like I don't like Cam Newton.
You know he's kind of washed up now.
No, he's not washed up. Don't say that. Stop saying that. Okay, he's not washed up. Cam Newton is not washed up. If anyone tells you that, they're a liar. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay.
What do you mean?
He's not washed up. He's not washed up.
Okay.
He's not washed up.
He scored like 1 touchdown.
It was, I think a lot of it had to do with the system he was placed in. So Cam Newton he has obvious strengths and very obvious weaknesses. So one of his biggest weaknesses is he's not very accurate, just like in general. He's really accurate in short passes, but like anything past like 6-7 yards, he's very erratic. He has a cannon for an arm, and that's what contributes to his erratism, because he depends so much on his shoulders instead of his base, and like moving his feet and getting his feet in the proper place, like the little fundamental things that Tom Brady does. Cam Newton doesn't seem to do that because he has so much athleticism.
Okay.
But I don't think it's great to throw him in the system that he doesn't know for half a year and then expect him to like capitalize on that. Especially when you get your starting quarterback come back and then you're like, okay, well, we're going to kind of switch and swap you guys in and out and just see what works. And it's like, how is he going to ever get any kind of rhythm?
Yeah, that's the thing too about, I think quarterbacks have it bad sometimes when when the like general managers are constantly switching things.
Yeah.
I like a team that does that is the Detroit Lions. They do that all the time. They always think, no, this is the problem. Look, we need to fire this head coach. We need to we need a new quarterback. We need.
Did you guys win like one game this year?
No, we were not the last team in the league. We won I think we won 3 or 4, but most of those came at the end of the season. We beat out the Jags. The Jags are the worst team in the league.
Well, that is promising though, right? You win the last 3 games. That means your team's maturing. Everyone's
that was the
system.
That was the interesting thing, and a lot of games that we lost towards the second half of the season were a lot closer.
Yeah.
So the coach himself was just like, it was so weird. I kind of like the new coach. I've watched him a little bit, and what I like about him is that he's very like he told them like straight up, I think at the beginning of the year, like hey, I'm this year I'm learning with these, like I'm not trying to win a Super Bowl. Like that's basically what he said. He's like, that's a terrible expectation.
Yeah.
Like, just to go out and win a bunch of games. And I think he had a goal in mind. And I heard somebody say that he's like quoted like a quote from him at the beginning of the season was like, I just want you guys to know that, because I guess they really wanted to hire him and he was kind of reluctant. And he was just like,
should be. He's a Detroit Lions.
He was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Just gonna let you guys know that I don't know what I'm doing, right? And so, but what he said in interviews and stuff that I would see in the middle of the year, he would be like, we're just trying to grow and get better as a team, and we're trying to work. And I was like, I kind of like this because he's taking the slow approach. Like he's just like, listen, our goal is to just take each game and win. That's all it is. It's not to like It's not even to win like the majority of our games. It's like we're just gonna keep building. And he was really happy with the way the season ended because he saw a lot of growth there at the end. Yeah. And he said the team came together a lot better. So
who else is in your division? Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings. Your division isn't that easy. Your division is
no, it's always been fairly hard.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
Especially when we had, honestly, even when we had Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, because we had, Vikings had Brett Favre and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Green Bay
still had a lot of 8 and 8 seasons.
Yeah, Green Bay still had
Aaron Rodgers.
I think the Bears had Jay Cutler at that time.
Yep.
So it was a pretty tough division. Again, we were usually towards the end of it. I mean, even when we were good, it was still difficult. But anyways, yeah, they're getting better. But we'll see. But I agree though. I agree.
So do you think Jared Goff's the final answer, or do you guys need to draft a quarterback? Or
I think next season will show a little bit. They really need an O-line is what they need. They really need an O-line. I mean, he just gets torn up. He got a little bit better towards the end, but he just, every game he's getting sacked. Like, it's so bad. And it's not his fault. Like, people just tear apart the offensive line. Like, it's really sad. So I'm hoping it'll get better. But I would say give him another year, like, and actually see if he can produce.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe a year later, and I may still be yelling about the offensive line. But, like, that's kind of always been one of Detroit's biggest problems. It got better. Our defensive and offensive line was better when we had Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford still took some hits, but he's a big boy, so he can take some hits. But it wasn't nowhere near as bad as this guy. Like, oh my gosh, I feel like he's always getting sacked. But it got better because they got. Their defensive line, they had Ndamukong Suh, and they had this other guy. I forget his name. He was from a college as well. He was another big. I can't remember if he was and I might be getting the positions wrong. I can't remember if he was a left tackle or a right tackle, but he was really good. But I can't remember his name at all. He was kind of like Ndamukong Suh, but he was a little bit smaller. But he was,
okay, so you mean like a defensive tackle?
Yeah, defensive tackle. Yeah. But it was good. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for the year. We're not going to win a Super Bowl or anything. Maybe we can go to the playoffs. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you last thing about football? Did you hear about Deshaun Watson?
I feel like I did. What happened?
He was so he's being sued. I think he has 20 civil cases against him right now. And then they were considering bringing criminal charges against him, and it was like in relation to. I don't know the full story, guys, so I'm just paraphrasing here, but I think it was about he would visit lots of different massage parlors, and he would be asking for additional services. Yeah.
Additional services.
Yeah.
Like you talking about the secret menu?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah. And so a bunch of people are suing him in relation to that, and so they were considering bringing criminal charges against him, and so he sat out the entire year of football because they didn't know what was going to happen with him, and the league was trying to decide,
how they wanted to handle it.
Yeah, because the league had a really bad reputation with handling
professional.
Yeah.
Especially when they have notoriety.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah.
If it's like some lineman that nobody knows about,
he's gone.
Throw the book at him. But if it's like if it's
Ben Roethlisberger,
or something like well, Michael Vick.
Well, he said he was sorry. He and he did it. It's like, okay.
People are like people watch games because of this guy. So we gotta keep him.
But yeah, but he requested to be traded because he felt the team deserted him in his time of need, and they didn't back him, and so he requested to be traded. But they basically benched him the whole season, and the league still hadn't put any ruling to whether he was going to be suspended, or was this just going to count as his suspension this whole season, or were they waiting to hear what the criminal charges were? But anyway, grand jury just recently came back and said he was cleared of all criminal charges, so they're not going to charge anything against him.
Wow.
Yeah. So now what that means towards his civil lawsuits, we don't know. Maybe he just, he just settles with all of them, just pays them some hush money, or just to get him to go away. I'm not saying I don't know if he's guilty or not. That's between him and the evidence. But now a lot of people are requesting to see if they can get him on their team, and the Carolina Panthers are one of those people.
Do you want him?
At first I didn't, because I was just like, you have no idea. Like, we don't know if he did it or not. And if he did do it, I don't want him on my team.
Yeah.
But now that he doesn't have, there's no criminal charges, that's kind of leaning towards maybe it's not what they're saying it is, at least.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not as bad as they're saying.
Yeah, maybe it's not as like, maybe it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know the full extent, so if there is some breaking news currently that came out and it's like, oh my God, we're going to
He did it.
yeah, like I'm not for that. I'm saying I don't want him on my team if that's true, but it just seemed all too messy. But if the criminal cases have been dropped and maybe the lawsuits get settled or handled somehow, and we can like come to some sort of conclusion of what happened, but the grand jury sealed everything, so we won't find any of that information out. I don't know. I've always thought he was a good guy. He went to Clemson.
Oh, okay.
So we played against him 4 times, and he was really good.
Rivalry.
Yeah, really, really good. I hated playing against him. He was so good. I think one year he played with like a torn Achilles against us, and he beat us.
Oh my.
That good.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then would be like a homecoming.
How do you play with a torn Achilles? Is that even physically possible?
I don't know. He had some sort of, I thought it was an Achilles, but it was some sort of leg issue because he had to come on the game a couple times. And like they iced him, and then he would come back in.
He said he was gonna play it.
Yeah, because it was like I think it was like, I want to say it might have been his senior or junior year.
Man, that brings up something that's kind of it's a little different, but I've seen a lot of in the news lately. A lot of people talking about. Oh, sorry, I'm coughing. They were talking about kind of like some of the NFL practices about how they really don't take care of players very well. They just like give them some really heavy pain meds and stuff back out. Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
What do you think how much of that do you think is true, or?
A good portion of it, but I think it's lessened a ton since like the age of social media. Mm-hmm. So now the players are able to speak out for themselves and like let people know what's going on. I think it's lessened a lot. Because back in the day, it used to be like they literally just shoot you up with something and push you back on the field because they want you to go win. Yeah. But now it's like the players have a voice, so you can't really do that because now they have the players' union, obviously, and they'll complain to them, and the team could be fined or suspended or lose draft picks, stuff like that.
Well, how much of that is the NFL, and how much of that is like the players' choice though to do that?
And that's why I think it's more. I think it's more becoming the players' choices to go out and play. Now there could be situations where you're put in a bad spot where you kind of have to play in order to go on your money or to make sure you get signed next year.
Yeah.
So it could be a little bit of pressure there, but I do ultimately think it's a player's decision. Because I mean, you could say no. What are they gonna say? Like if you say no, are they gonna fire you? Then you just tell everyone that they fired you because you didn't want to play on a broken hamstring or something like that. Or
yeah, it's true. Well, I was just kind of thinking about that because I've been hearing some.
Yeah, that was Antonio Brown. He was saying that his
really
he quit on the Buccaneers.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was saying it was because he had a messed up ankle and they were forcing him to play on it.
And it was like I don't want to play.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true. I'm weak.
He's so weak. Antonio Brown. He's not even good.
He's not even trying to come back and play.
Really? For who?
I don't know. He was talking about the Cowboys.
Anybody else?
No, but he's had a rocky last couple of years. So he was on the Steelers, and he forced his way out of the Steelers, and then he was on the Raiders. Raiders, and then they basically kicked him out, and they paid him a bunch of money to go away because they were like he's just not good for the team. And then he was on the Patriots with Tom Brady, and then
he was on the Patriots,
and the Patriots were just can't handle him. He's just too chaotic. You don't even know what's gonna happen. So they kicked him off the team, and then Tom brought him back with him to the Buck. Yeah. He's everywhere he's gone, drama has followed him, and it's usually been people saying you're the source of it.
Yeah.
So whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it's
when
a
it happens
consistent
that
thing.
many times,
With that many different teams too, and different coaches, it's like.
Yeah, it's also hard because usually the guy who's being told that he's the problem is going to have like a bunch of different reasons.
Oh yeah, he's going to point at everyone else and say like, I'm not problem.
And it's always going to be a different reason. It's like, well, this happened. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, anyways, we're going to move on from sports, and we're going to finish up the hour here by talking about the Batman again. We watched the Batman on, what was it, yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday for the second time.
We had the whole theater to ourselves. It was a private viewing. We rented out the theater.
It was so great.
We did it big.
It was my wife, him, and me, and we went at like a 1:30 showing. So it was like nobody at
the 1:30 on a Monday. 1:30 on a Monday, so nobody was.
I was like, I would love to watch a movie like this again. That's only happened to me, I think, like one or two other times because my wife and I went and saw. She hadn't seen Suicide Squad, and we went and saw the original Suicide Squad. And it was just like an empty movie, like nobody was in there, so we just like talked the whole time. And she was like, "I don't like that. That's weird. Like just say it out loud, say whatever you think. It's kind of fun, like you're at home."
Yeah.
But anyways, we saw The Batman, which was really good. And Jonathan, I'm gonna let you start because I usually just start spewing stuff. But what did you think about the second viewing?
I liked it a lot better. I liked it a lot more the second time around than the first time. I do think I think I might have explained this on the podcast, but I had a bad movie experience my first time around. One, we were late for the movie, so we're like 5 to 10 minutes. So that first quick shot of like the Riddler looking at the guy and Zorro and then him bludgeoning him. I didn't see any of that the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I walked in just as he was doing the voiceover about the shadows and stuff like that.
What did you think of that scene?
So great.
It's kind of freaky, isn't it?
Yeah. And I like how they don't forget that throughout the rest of the movie. They keep showing it. They keep reminding. Oh, by the way, spoilers for the movie.
Luckily, we haven't really given anything crazy away. It's just the beginning of the movie. So. But there will be spoilers here. Let me go ahead. Let me add the spoilers banner for everybody. Okay.
Also, we were sitting way too close. So this was an IMAX, and it was a huge screen, and we were like literally sitting right underneath the screen. So we were like looking at the whole time.
See, and I had an amazing IMAX experience. Like, I kind of was a little sad that we didn't watch it on IMAX, but I was like, I don't want to pay that much for tickets. Yeah. But I was like, I love, because I had like basically the middle row and the middle seat, so I was like, it was like perfect right there. I was like, oh man, and the sound was great.
Yeah,
so
it was too loud for me. It was
too loud, like right up front.
Yeah, and it was the lights were blaring, so like it would shift from black to dark. Like
I don't know how your wife fell asleep, man.
Well. We were really tired. Like we had a really, really long week.
That's another frustrating thing.
Yeah, we had a really long week.
Watch a movie
and we were both just drained. And so by the time we got to the movie theater, we were both like really, really tired. Mm-hmm. So that also contributed. We were both really, really hungry too because we didn't eat before the movie started. Because it started at 7 and she got off work at like 6:30. So we went straight there to the movie theater.
Yeah.
So there were a bunch of different factors that made it not a great experience. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean I didn't like the movie the first time I watched it. I still liked it. It's just like I was like, it's not that great. I didn't think it was like best Batman movie ever, which a lot of people are saying right now. Mm-hmm. But watching it the second time and getting able to like understand the whole story beforehand, and then watching it again play out, I was like, wow, this was a lot more intricate, a lot more detailed, a lot more fun. And I really noticed the action scenes. That's what really stood out to me was the action scenes. They were a lot more than I thought they were.
Yeah, the moments in between weren't as long as they felt the first time.
Yeah.
The movie itself actually did not feel as long to me.
It did.
As
it felt like
it went time.
It went like
the
really
pacing
fast,
felt better. Which I don't know why that is. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Maybe because you're like hanging on the edge of your seat, waiting for each moment to happen.
Yeah, you kind of want certain things to happen the first time you watch it too. So, but then when you sit back, sometimes the second time you can appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I actually. We're probably going to go back and forth a little bit, but I actually, I would say I liked it just as much. It kind of evened out. Things that I liked a lot the first time, I didn't like as much, and things that I didn't appreciate the first time, I appreciated a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So like it kind of evened itself out. I was like, no, I say I feel the same about it. But one thing I did notice is I don't think I like it better than The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I don't. I would say.
Welcome.
I would say I don't, because I was watching some videos on YouTube of just like behind the scenes stuff and like things like that of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, and I was just like, yeah, these movies were really good. Like, they are really, and they're really well done, and they put a lot of like psychological mythos behind it that is kind of appreciated.
Yeah, which it's a true story of a hero. It's a true story. It's the truest story of a hero I've ever seen.
Yeah. So I really liked that about those movies. And I was like, man, Heath Ledger's just really good in that movie. Like it
soaks it up, honestly.
Yeah,
it really does.
And I remember that even when I rewatch it, I still watch it kind of on edge. You know what I mean? At least that's The Dark Knight specifically. Like I still watch it where I'm just like, oh man, what's gonna happen next? Oh man, what's gonna, like I keep watching it that way. It doesn't really get old. It's hard to play that movie in the background and do something else.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of want to watch every scene. So and this movie's not like that. This movie's good. It's probably one of the best Batman movies, I would say. It's got to be one of the best. I would be surprised if anybody, honestly, like, I'm not a fan of Tim Burton's Batman, but like this felt more like a Batman story. Like a lot of people who have argued with me, I'm kind of like, well, have you read the comics of it? Because I'm like, and I'm not saying that, oh, well, you don't like the movie if you don't read the comics. That's not what I mean. I just mean the comics.
We don't advocate reading here. We don't advocate reading. No.
You don't have to read. I mean, I don't necessarily read a lot of comics, but like the ones that I have, it literally felt like they had taken a comic and plastered it on the screen. Is kind of how it felt. So it was like if you appreciate the comics and you like the comics, you're probably going to like this movie. If you're not really a big comic book person, you might not like it at all.
Yeah.
Like, mainly for that fact.
Someone said this, and it might have been you, but someone said you're either going to like this movie or you're going to really like this movie. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to dislike this movie.
Yeah.
I think the reasons why a lot of people dislike it might be the length. It's like a little slow. It can be a little slow, especially like we were talking about your first time viewing it. But the movie is just it's gripping though. It really does draw you into the movie.
The cinematography was really good.
Yeah. And every aspect of the movie is done really, really well. You can tell that they focused on making sure that no aspect of Batman was forgotten in the movie they're displaying. So.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it felt like a complete Batman.
Yeah.
The only thing it was missing more of was Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, yeah.
But I mean, you know, there are stories in the comic books that are very Batman centric. They're not Bruce Wayne centric.
Yeah.
Like the only time you see Bruce Wayne is when he's in the cave with his mask off, but he's still got his uniform on.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stories like that.
Yeah, and if you know the comics, then you know that Bruce Wayne is actually the mask and Batman is who he really is.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of. I actually think in the sequels we're going to get more Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what's going to happen because I have a feeling the director just wanted to tell like a really good Batman detective story.
Yeah.
I kind of hope not every movie is like this. I still hope they have the same tone, but I don't necessarily want each one to feel like a Batman noir. Like I want the same tone, right? I want the same like kind of eerie, dark, like
mystery.
Okay. Yeah, I want that, but I don't necessarily want everyone to be like, it's a new case for Batman to solve. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want it changed up a little bit. Okay. I'm not saying you can't have those elements, but you've already established that that's what he can do, right? So like just build off of that in the future, I guess. I'd like to see some of the other parts of him fleshed out, but this could potentially be one of the best trilogies.
Yeah.
If not the best trilogy. I still think it has a lot of potential. But the reason you know this is a good movie is because it makes you want to see the sequel. That's like honestly like.
Hope so.
Like I didn't really like Captain America that much, but the ending of that movie made me want to see the sequel, and I was like, this was a pretty good movie. Like it made me, and when you watch the sequel with the first one, like it's a better story arc overall.
Experience, yeah.
Even if the first one had some bumps along the way.
Yeah. I think the lesson that Batman eventually learns at the end of the episode of the movie
hit me better this time.
Yes, that hit me better, but also I think that's what's going to contribute to him being a better Bruce Wayne in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Because remember, the mayor, Bella Brielle, which is a very weird
name.
But
one who got shot after not listening to the cops.
Yeah. she was telling him that she's like, your family has a history, a legacy of doing more for city philanthropy, and you're not doing anything. And then at the end of the movie, he realizes he has to be more than just vengeance. He has to be hope as well. And so hopefully that is what's going to empower Bruce Wayne to go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and we see that aspect of.
Yeah.
You know what we really didn't get in this movie? Wayne Enterprise. We really didn't get much of Wayne Enterprise at all. There was the accountant scene with Alfred, but we didn't get to see any of what happened with that.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, and I think that's because, like, I think it's probably not in the best place. That's probably why all the accountants were wanting to meet him, I bet. They're probably just not in a good the business is probably not making very much money or something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's spending it on that car. The car's insane.
Did you notice too that, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but there were shots throughout the movie where they're showing like different car parts and like blocks for the engine and stuff.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can tell he's like making it.
He's making himself.
He's like assembling it himself.
Can I say, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I was not as impressed with the Batmobile. Maybe as everyone else was.
I'm not either.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I think it's kind of a muscle car.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you like that, you're gonna love it. Like, my dad would probably be like, "That's really cool." Like, my dad would be into it. I was kind of muscle cars aren't. I don't know as much about them. They're, you know, like Camaros, like classic Camaros and Challengers and things like that. I'm not into them as much. So, you know, and I don't even. I'm more of a Mustang guy, and to be honest, I don't know if that's even a muscle car. I don't know if it's considered one.
Yeah.
So I know it's a sports car, but you know, so if you like that style, you're probably gonna like this. I think my favorite Batmobile, man, I don't know. It's either gonna be, it's either gonna be the Nolan one, or it's gonna be what's the other one? The one that Ben Affleck had.
Okay.
It's gonna be one of those two. I think those were like the better ones.
Better than the Arkham series?
The Arkham video games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I like the Arkham Batmobile, but you know, it's all right.
I haven't driven it yet, so.
You get tired of driving. You don't want to drive.
Is that shaping your opinion?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You get tired. They use it way too much. But anyways, so I really liked. I liked the Batmobile, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about Batmobile to have gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that stood out to me in the second viewing was he did a lot more gadget stuff than I thought he did.
Yeah, he did a ton, right?
Yeah, he had a lot of gadgets, and not just like, you know, a Batarang, which he does only have one. It's been confirmed, and it's like literally right in the center of his chest.
That was. I kind of wish he had more Batarangs. Like we were talking about this in the movie, and I was like, the thing I did like about the Nolan movies is like. You mentioned it. He was like, yeah, you got to see him like make the Batarangs, and kind of they were shaped like a bat. Now that's in Batman Begins. That's like the only time you really see him use them.
Yeah,
he doesn't really use them that much, and after that,
and there's a purpose for them too, because he has a lore with ninja stuff and shurikens and stuff like that. So it makes sense that he would make a Batarang.
You know what? You know, honestly, I would like to see a movie that is more about that part of his origin. Mm-hmm. I've always I like Batman Begins, and Batman Begins could have even went deeper into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the training montage at the beginning is pretty short, but I think it's because they're trying to get into the Batman stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to get into him getting back to Gotham and everything. I get that, but I would love I kind of would have liked to have seen Robert Pattinson be trained
by Raish,
especially with how he seemed in this movie. He seems to have more of a rage than Christian Bale did.
He's vengeance, man.
He is
Mr. Vengeance.
Mr. Vengeance.
Vengeance.
You know, I heard somebody say like, how does everybody know that his name is Vengeance? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. I don't really know how people know that.
I think he's going around saying it. I feel like he's going around.
He must be right. Like, people are like, who are you? And he's just.
Or maybe he beats up a henchman and says I'm Vengeance, and then they go back to the boss and they're like, what happened? Like, well, Vengeance.
Vengeance guy. Doesn't that sound funny? Like if I was the boss, I would shoot that dude. I'd be like, what are you talking about? He's like, Vengeance. That's what he said his name was. Like, bang.
It's a bat with wings. It's like a man bat? No, like a guy in a costume.
Like a Batman. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have to do that trope. I'm glad. That trope can be retired. I'm tired of the streak. That's the hood. That's his name, the hood. And like we gotta eventually get to him.
Yeah, Smallville. How many names did he have? He had the Big Blue Blur.
The Big Blue Blur, yeah.
Yeah. What else did he have?
I don't remember. I didn't watch Smallville that intensely, so you would know better than I would.
You like Smallville though. You used to tell me you loved that show.
Yeah.
That was actually.
I didn't.
You used the term at the time. I love that show. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did. Wow.
You did. I'm sorry. I can't let you. That's what got me into it. You were like, yeah, it's a great show. I love that show. You should watch it. And then you were like, I just hate the last 2 seasons. It was like,
yeah. Well, I did watch the show. I haven't finished the show, but I did watch the show.
You haven't finished the show.
Yeah, we got a comment.
We got a comment here. Let's go ahead and show it up right now. See, Rain, if I'm saying that correctly, said they absolutely love the film, the score, the sound design, cinematography, the cast, the production. It all came out so consistent. I would agree. It was very consistent.
Yes.
It was very. They didn't. The only thing that it actually felt better the second time, I still think it was a little unnecessary. The only thing that felt inconsistent to me was kind of him, like with his parents, that thing. But like the second time I watched it, it actually fit a little bit better than it did the first time. So I was kind of like, yeah. It was just. I remember watching it the first time, and it literally felt like, like we're chasing the Riddler, and then it was like it was stopping right here, and then they like cut it, and they insert like.
Let's talk about
story about his parents, and then it was just like done, and it was like Riddler. So it kind of felt like that.
I can agree with that. The first time I did not like it. The second time I was more okay with it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I wasn't like upset they were doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it was just largely because you saw how that story now fits in the context of the broader story.
Yeah, right? I do. I will say it feels like a cohesive world.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like this. It doesn't feel like this really small kind of like area.
Yeah.
Like Gotham felt kind of, to me in the Nolan films, Gotham felt a little small.
Yeah, I agree.
This feels really broad. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. Like there's a lot of history to the city. Mm-hmm. It's very rich, which I like that a lot. And I think so I'm still not a fan of Catwoman. I didn't really like her that much. But she was better than I thought. So like in the first time I watched the film, what I said in my review was that I really I just felt like she didn't have much of a personality. It felt kind of the same. She had a little more personality than I thought. She's not my favorite. I think she could get better though. Like I think she probably will get better in future movies.
Yeah.
And I will say this: none of the actors are bad. They all act very well. They're all. Let me preface it a little bit differently, because I discredited her acting. Because she had a lot of personality. They all have a good presence about them. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like they all, when they show up, you're like, oh, she's Catwoman. Yeah. Like you get that.
They'll play the characters well.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. It's just like Jeffrey Wright. He has a very good presence on. When he shows up, you're just like, oh snap, that's Commissioner Gordon, which he's not Commissioner yet, but that's Gordon. The thing is just when he talks, it's like he doesn't add very much character to his character. Like he doesn't add very much depth to it, which that can be part writers, that can be part the actor, and that's kind of how I felt with Catwoman. I was like, okay, like I get her, but not really. Like there could be more that's going on. So, and I'm a sucker for Anne Hathaway. Like we'll just I'll put that out there so people know. I like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. But I'm not saying she did a perfect job as Catwoman either. I think somebody can easily top her. And Zoe Kravitz might be able to. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. I actually liked Penguin even more.
I did too. Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of the screen he just chews up when he's in the scene. That. I originally did not like the El Rata thing and him explain to Batman in Spanish. I didn't like that originally, but it turned out so funny.
It was funnier the second time because it was more so like why does he know? He's an Italian mobster. It's La Rata. Am I the only one who knows the difference between El Rata and the worst Spanish I've ever heard? That was so funny, yeah. But I thought Commissioner Gordon so if you go back and watch Nolan's films, which I'm not a Nolan stan. Just gonna get that out. I'm not like.
You sure?
No, because my brother is one. I know if you're
I've seen the pinnacle.
I've seen the Christian Bale's just so good. I just don't beat Christian Bale. I'm like, okay, he wasn't that great. Okay, I like Christian Bale. He was good.
Yeah, he was good. That's why I realized when I went back and watched it. I was like, he wasn't the best Batman I've ever seen.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
but
he was really good though.
He was good. Yeah, he was solid. He was probably at the time he was the best.
Yes.
Like at his time. But I think he's easy to beat.
Yeah.
Just like I thought Ben Affleck was really good. I personally thought he was better. than Christian Bale, but I thought he could be beat because nobody's really done it perfectly, and I actually think that Robert Pattinson might be able to be the top dog, so to speak, the top bat.
Yeah.
Anyways,
if he can nail Bruce Wayne's swagger, then absolutely, I'm down with that.
I think he can too, because to me, this movie just makes a lot of sense, and I think you kind of mentioned this, because I heard you using it more. But this movie makes a lot of sense if you just watch it through the frame that they give you, which is it's a 2-year Batman. It's a second-year Batman. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the problems he's dealing with, a lot of the frustrations he's having, a lot of the concerns he's having, and a lot of the problems that he faces when he's even out fighting people, like, they fit perfectly in that frame of, like, this is a second-year Batman. He's kind of inexperienced. He's a little clumsy.
Yeah.
He
has an ideal of what he thinks this should look like, and that's what he's pursuing. And now he's realizing that's not working.
That's not working. Yeah, exactly. It's actually doing the opposite in some ways.
Yeah.
So look, I'm going to answer some questions here real fast. Jonathan, what were some of the most compelling scenes for you, did you think?
Oh, man.
You're better at answering these kinds of questions than I am, but...
I did not like the car, but the car chase scene was a lot better the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is so much destruction. Like, people are dying.
I missed a lot of the car scene.
Oh, yeah, because I walked away.
Yeah, I had to go. I was doing something for my wife, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That scene, definitely the scene between Penguin, Commissioner Gordon, and Batman, that scene was much better to me the second time.
So a compelling scene for me, I guess, that really got me to, the first time what really got me was him, like, looking at the kid. I actually thought that scene was really well done when he's, like, as
Batman?
Yeah, and he's just kind of staring at the kid. And I heard some people being like, there were some people who were like, that scene is, like, so cheesy and stuff. And I was like, I thought he acted that really well.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of was like...
He lingers on it, too.
Yeah, he just kind of sits there and, like, thinks about it, and it's just like, yeah.
You can tell he's remembering something. He's like...
Well, you can tell he's empathizing in that moment. It's not like just this kind of, like, sympathetic, like, oh, man, I remember when my parents died. Like, it's not like that at all. It's like... It's almost like it kind of reminded him as to why he's doing what he's doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that scene. And then I also liked, what was the other scene that I was going to say? The scene where you think the Riddler knows that he's Batman, and then you find out that he doesn't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I was just like, I was really relieved. My wife was too. She was just like,
yeah. I was wondering if other people realized what we realized, that he thought he was Batman.
Because it's very subtle. You have to really be paying attention.
Yeah, and your wife was like, oh snap! I thought he did.
Yeah,
I was like, cool.
I was listening to a podcast, and this one dude thought that he knew he was Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the movie, like he still thought he knew he was Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no, like you need like watch the movie again.
Yeah,
like he does not.
Pretty clear.
It's pretty clear once it happens. But if you're not paying attention, you're gonna like lose it.
Yeah, you gotta really be ears open for sure. I still think the best scene in the movie is the shadow scenes where everyone's looking at the shadows. They're like, is Batman gonna come out of that one? Is he gonna come out of that one? And
I was too amped for that scene. So it didn't hit as good, and I was like, oh well. I was like, it's fine. It's still a good scene. Still very well written.
Yeah, and then him stepping, like you hear his boots come out of the shadows, and you're just like,
I love I don't know if you noticed this, but they added like a Spurs sound to it. Like he like almost like he's the sheriff.
Yeah.
He's coming out. I love that so much. So like there's so many little details in the movie that are really good.
And the first guy he takes down is like so vicious. And you would think everyone would just scatter because you're like, oh snap, like
See, I think the thing was the first time I watched the movie, I wanted more scenes like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see him doing that with a bunch of dudes. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think he's there yet. You know what I mean? As far as like, I hope Matt Reeves is planning to show, because like honestly, I love the scene in BVS. Mm-hmm. Like where Batman just jumps in and he's fighting all those guys.
And you get to see it cleanly too.
Yeah, it's full body.
Yeah,
like you get to see.
It's not like a cut.
Yeah, and so they cut a little bit in this one.
Yeah,
and that's okay. That's all right. I get it. But like they would kind of cut to where you just saw his upper body. Mm-hmm. There were definitely more full body shots of him fighting than in the Nolan films. The Nolan films just get them bows.
Yeah. The bows
all day.
But I do think when I was watching it back, I was like, I didn't like it at first, but now I was like, no, it makes more sense because you don't want to mess up your hand. Like if he's fighting crime for 10, 15 years, you keep punching something, you're going to mess up your hands, no matter how much protection you have. Yeah. So it makes sense that he was like, I'm trying to just not punch if I can and just use my elbows.
That's fair. I hadn't thought of it that way before. That adds some realism to it.
Yeah.
I would just kind of like to see. I would like to see a little bit more choreographed fights.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah.
Because that honestly, that one scene in Batman vs Superman got me so excited for a future Ben Affleck movie. I was like, oh, I want more of that. That's what I want, and then we didn't get it, which is fine because this movie's amazing.
Yes.
This movie's really good. So
in its own way.
Yeah, in a different way. It's very great. I also the cinematography was really good. All the scenes in the club were good. I would say where they kind of used lighting to kind of show off his suit and the way he looked. The humor in the movie is very good and very underrated as well.
Yes.
I've heard I've heard a lot of people online who are quote unquote Marvel fans.
Oh, the Marvels.
And we're Marvel fans, man. We're both we like Marvel. All right.
I like Marvel. I don't know if I would call myself a Marvel fan at this point.
Used to be, man, when it was good.
When it was good. No, I'm not. I've always been this is how I would describe myself. I'm a DC loyalist, okay? I've always been more loyal to DC than I am to Marvel, okay? So, if you're ever asking me to choose between DC and Marvel, I'm always going to try to choose DC if I can. Now, there are obviously some objective times where I'm like, okay, that's clearly not better.
Honestly,
Civil War was much better than BVS, right?
Yeah.
I would have to admit that.
I gotta say though, if somebody said you could only have Marvel or DC, you have to pick. You can only have it in this world. I would pick DC.
Really?
I would pick DC.
Wow.
Easy.
Okay.
Their stories.
Spider-Man though, you don't want.
I love Spider-Man and
Daredevil, Iron Man.
No,
you're just gonna do one of those stories.
I know, but no. If you're thinking of the lore of the comics, I'm not saying Marvel doesn't have good stories, but all the ones I've been most interested in, for me personally, have been DC stories.
Okay, that's fair.
But I would be honest. Honestly, I'm a much bigger Marvel fan than he is.
Yes.
Definitely. I like more of their movies better. I think he does too, but he doesn't like that he likes them. I've just been waiting for some good DC movies. And to be honest, I love this movie. I kind of wish I would like to see some more DC movies that aren't just Batman. You know what I mean? I love Batman. Batman's my...
We're getting a whole cast of them, man. You didn't see DC fandom? We're getting a whole cast of them.
They
may be coming as soon as Jesus comes back, but they'll be here at some point.
Yeah, the day I'm waiting in line for Flash, he's back. You gonna watch it with me?
Is this in heaven?
She's like, yeah, man, they come out on time.
they're top notch.
That's right. I was honestly excited for the Flash this year. Jonathan wasn't, but nope. I was, which is sad because that's his favorite superhero.
Yeah,
which is sad, man.
You can't. No one can tell me this is going to be a good movie. The amount of production issues that it had that are not COVID related, non-COVID related production issues. The amount of delays this movie has had, it was supposed to come out years ago. We're not talking about months ago, years ago, and now they're delaying it another year. The amount of writing issues they've had with this movie, the amount of acting issues they've had with this movie. At one point they were gonna can Ezra Miller and get somebody else because he wasn't cooperating. So you can't tell me this is gonna be a good movie. I'm unconvinced.
Well,
I'm hopeful. I would like it to be a good movie. It's not like I want it to be bad. I would like it.
It's gonna be in it as Batman. You're gonna love it, man. You're gonna love it.
I feel like they're gonna try to really put the nostalgia to make me like the movie. They're gonna try to
That's what Marvel's doing. Yeah. Well, Spider-Man No Way Home did it good.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. They're gonna try to Spider-Man No Way Home, but I don't think it's gonna work as well because I don't think those characters are beloved as the Spider-Man characters.
Not in cinema.
Yeah.
Not in cinema for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But anyways, I've heard so many Marvel fans say and honestly, like they say, the movie's too dark. Like why isn't there any sun? Like, why isn't there, like, no, but like legit, like, and when I say multiple people, I mean like I've seen a couple people on social media, I've seen some people on my personal Facebook, like things like that, and they're like, it's too dark, it's not, it's not bright enough, it wasn't very funny. He's so emo and he's just brooding and sad all the time and all this
stuff.
Not
the character.
I'm like, this is
you
like
for a Batman movie, or are you trying to see Iron Man 4?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it's like that. This is a Batman movie. Like it's not a happy movie. Like it's not.
I was
supposed to
honestly
be a happy
surprised
movie.
at how much sunlight we got in the movie with like Batman in the sunlight. I was very surprised with that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, we actually got a lot of sunlight in the movie.
Personally,
like if you think about it, it is raining. Like there's a couple times it does rain, but it doesn't rain all the time.
Yeah.
The first half of the movie it rains.
Yeah.
A little bit, but it's also taking place over a week. And so I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, it actually makes sense. Like even if it was raining 5 out of the 7 days, that's a realistic kind of. It sounds weird that I'm arguing this, but it's a realistic forecast. Like there's places where it rains that much. In Gotham apparently it rains that much.
Yeah.
It just rains a lot during the week. And then also, I always wondered if he was, like, when the sun was out, was that sunset or was that sunrise? I never knew when that was. I always assumed it was sunset. But, anyways.
The humor was good. It was really underrated. I totally agree with you. And when it
was
came
the perfect
out,
moments.
Yeah,
too.
it was, like, actually funny.
And it was very good Batman humor.
Yeah.
Like, Batman, he's just like, you got a lot of cats. It's like that's a Batman thing. That's totally.
Or like when he's talking to Penguin and he's like, do you know Robert? He's like, do you? I'm like, oh snap! Yeah. Everyone thinks you're just a chump.
Yeah, it was such a great movie. Do you think they're gonna evolve the suit, or do you think they'll keep it the same?
Oh, I hope they do. I really do hope each movie we get a different one.
If they build off the one they have, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I actually really like kind of the cowl where it kind of comes up a little bit right here, and
the one thing I don't like, I really like my Batman symbol to stand out, and I feel like it's been like darkened so much that it's kind of hard to see it without light, and I kind of like it to be like how
do you want like Iron Man Batman?
No, BDS. You know how he had gray. His suit is gray, but his symbol is black, so it's very standout.
That suit had to grow on me for a while. I
really
didn't like that suit.
Really?
I know. Wow. I like the Dark Knight Returns a lot. Like I think I've watched the animated movie.
I thought it was perfect. I thought they did it perfectly.
I know. I liked the suit. But the first time I saw it, I didn't like how big the bat was.
Okay.
But the more times I watched the movie, I got used to it.
I'll agree with that. When I first read the Dark Knight Returns and watched the movie, I really didn't like the bat symbol because it looked so chunky and thick. It didn't look like it was very defined. Like I like it.
In Batman Begins, you said?
No, in the Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
The comic book and then the subsequent.
But you liked it in the movie a lot in Batman vs.
It grew on me. The symbol grew on me.
Yeah.
But what I mean is I like how his symbol stands out from his suit. So it's like you don't just like get black on black. You get gray on a black.
Do you think we'll ever get black and yellow again, or like blue and gray?
Could be the third movie. Because the newer Batman comics, he has like a yellow kind of deal on surrounding his symbol. So
maybe, because like what's interesting is artists have done those looks, and they've gotten better. Like they're not, you know what I mean? Like they're not as kind of cheesy as they were back in the day. Like they've used the blue and gray, or like they've done blue and yellow before, and it actually looks fairly good.
Yeah. And in the darkness, the blue turns black. So like. It's still true to his dark persona, but
it might even be scarier because you would probably see like an outline of him.
Yeah,
he wouldn't just blend it in the shadows, but you would it'd be hard to make out, but you would see like an outline. But I don't know. I'd like to see it a little bit.
What didn't you like? Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Oh man, well that's hard. That's hard. Thank you for watching from Ireland, by the way. That's awesome. Shout out to you. Colin Farrell was amazing.
Oh yeah,
love Colin Farrell.
Hands down.
He was so good.
Man.
And again, liked him better. I was actually, because I remember you were like, "Are you more excited for his show now?"
Yeah,
you are. Because like I remember the first time you watched, you were like, "I don't know," but he was really funny, and honestly, he may save for Robert Pattinson, he may have been like the best the best acted character in this whole thing. Like, he was very well done.
Oh man.
The only thing I wish he had, two things, is because I love the Arkham video game so much. I kind of wish he had a British accent. And I would instead of the Italian mobster, and I want him to have a gimpy leg. Like, I want him to have that leg, you know. But he's fine the way he is.
Maybe we get in the show. Maybe
That would be awesome.
And we get he gets the
monocle. I love the monocle, man.
Wait, do you want the monocle or do you want the glass shoved into his face?
I'd probably rather have the monocle.
Yeah, me too. I don't like the glass.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Is that from
Arkham series? Yeah.
Well, that's it's like a monocle.
Yeah, but it's like a Coke bottle or something like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What I didn't like about the movie, man, see that's hard. The first time I watched it, there was stuff I could pick out, but this time I don't know because I kind of had my expectations. The expectations that I had kind of weren't met in the first one for everything. So the second time I watched it, I could just kind of enjoy it, and I liked the pretty much everything.
Still like the suit, the monkey, the squirrel suit.
Yeah, I think I liked it a little bit better this time. I'm hoping that evolves. Again, here's everything though. For me, everything is good in this film as long as it evolves into something better. Like, to be honest,
I'm telling you, this is sounding like this is giving me Force Awakens vibes. But it's better. I would say I like this movie a lot more than I like The Force Awakens. When I first saw it, I was like, this isn't good. But like, there's a lot of promise here that we can build on.
Yeah, so I kind of want. So what I want, if it does what I'm wanting it to do, which it may not, what I'm wanting. The reason I say this though is because why would Matt Reeves say this is a year 2 Batman if he wasn't planning on growing the character not only technologically but like with not only physically but technologically?
Yeah.
Why would you do that in the first place? So I would like to see him. Be more Bruce Wayne. Like, I could say I didn't like Bruce Wayne in this, but I did like him if he were going to grow. If he's always going to be moody, I'm probably not going to like him. But honestly, for where he's at, it fits the character. Like, so I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, because like right now he's more Bruce Wayne he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, so, like all the time. Like
because I noticed that when he was walking, I was like, he literally walks the exact same as Batman does when he's Bruce Wayne, and I don't
because he doesn't care.
Yeah,
he doesn't care, and
he literally said the same lines when he comes to the door. You know who I am?
Yeah, he did. Didn't he? That's really funny. I didn't think about that.
And he has the same gravel in his voice almost.
Yeah, almost. He just doesn't have it as low, and so I think I'm hoping that'll evolve. Right? Yeah. If it evolves, I'll appreciate this movie a whole lot. If it doesn't, I'm probably not going to like it. My opinion will change on this movie.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a lot of things that are less forgiving. You know, like, okay, so things I don't like that he got shot as much as he did.
Okay, yeah. Still.
I don't like that he got shot as much as he did, because it's just, especially the bomb. So the bomb was even more, like when he gets the bomb to the face, that was even more or less believable the second time than the first time.
Yeah, and all he had was he just passed out?
Well, he put his hand in front of his face to cover his mouth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he like when the bomb was about to go off, he goes like this to cover basically to cover his chin and his mouth, and then he absorbs the whole blast. So I'm kind of like, but still, it's a bomb, right? Like, no iteration of the Batman suit that I know of, at least in cinema.
That's not mech. That's not meched out. Like, that's like a mechanized suit. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Batman, right? So I'm sure that he has a bomb-proof suit. The thing that more irked me was that we don't get any talk of what type of technology he's using. So, like, they could have written in some sort of, and some people don't like this, which is fine. They could have written in some sort of plot point for his plot armor. Ha ha ha. They could have written something in for that, right? So they could have been like, he could have been talking to Alfred and mentioned, well, this is what the suit's made out of, and the reason, it can withstand these things, right? Small radius blasts,
which is what we got in the Nolan films.
Yeah, we did. And so that's helpful a little bit, because then it makes everything that's happening more believable. And you don't have to do that for everything. Like, I think when he gets shot at the beginning of the film, that was pretty believable for me. That he was fine.
Yeah.
But then it was more so afterwards, like when he got the shotgun to the chest,
exactly,
where it was like we both ran the film and we were like, oh snap! Like we were just like freaked out when that happened.
And we've already seen that.
We'd already seen it once, so we were just like, wow, that was really close. Like that was really close.
And it's like right, like point blank. It's literally boom, right to the chest.
And like I get that. So in the comics, his bat symbol is like the most protective thing. And I get that, but like if you're not a comic book fan of that, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. And they also didn't say that in the film, so it's kind of, like it's just hard to be like, oh, this is kind of real world, but that he's getting shot over and over again. So
it's like what?
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like what I was telling Jonathan, right? This is year 2 Batman, so hopefully in the future, I see him getting shot less because he's learning. Yeah. His body's also going to probably be like extremely beaten with bullet bruises, right? Because even if he's absorbing all that energy's got to go somewhere, so it's going to go into his body, and he's probably. I mean, honestly, when there's that one shot where he like puts a shirt on, and you see his shoulders, and he's like all bruised up on the back. So I'm thinking that maybe they'll hopefully a lot of those things that I don't like. I'm expecting, this movie's going to age better if they show progression in how he's learning, how he's doing things.
Yeah, so, and you got to remember that is a huge part of the character current was that he's trying to be vengeance. He's trying to enforce fear onto the streets, and so part of that is like he wants people to think like, oh, you can't even kill him with the gun.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
And so because like there are times where he can literally dodge some of these shots, and he's just like, nah, man, and he just takes it straight on. And so I'm thinking that's part of him trying to instill fear into the criminals to think like, man, we can't even like a gun doesn't even work against this guy. Nothing works against him.
Yeah. And then also like again like going back to because we got a comment that said that Bruce is kind of a recluse in this, and it just makes sense, right? Like if you're a second year Batman, and he literally says in the intro, this is my second year. He says 2 years of nights has turned me into a nocturnal animal. So if I'm taking that at face value, that means he's done this 365 days a year for 2 years in a row. Okay, that's an insane amount of time to literally just be going out at night, trying to save people or protect Gotham, stop certain operations, and you're having essentially no human contact. Like you're not having any social contact except for when you're beating up people and telling them that you're vengeance. So it's like wouldn't he be
a business cards? He just hands them out. Like, I mean, if there's a bad credit card, why can't there be a bad business card? Who are you? That's my card.
I'll get drive-through. Val Kilmer. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, like things like that, they just kind of make sense. Like one thing that I liked about the Nolan films is that he did, that they actually kind of showed that a little bit where I think Alfred wakes him up or something, and he's like bats are nocturnal, and he's like he just wants to sleep during the day, and it's like that's probably if you were doing that 2 years straight every day, like it would be exhausting for one because of your body, but also if you're just not having any social interaction at all, you're probably going to be depressed, maybe have some social anxiety. That's probably why you're not going to want to go out unless you're dressed up as Batman, because then people don't know that you're Bruce Wayne, and it probably shields that social anxiety too. So all that stuff made sense to me. But the things I didn't like were mainly shooting, which could get better. So I'm not really worried about it. And then I already talked about the 2 characters. I like who they've casted as Catwoman and Commissioner Gordon. I just need them to give some more personality and develop a little bit better. That's all. Like that's kind of my personal take on it. I can't really think of anything else. I only see
the Joker scene.
Oh, I forgot about the Joker. So the Joker at the end.
Sorry, the Joker. We have not been confirmed. No one has any confirmed. But it's been confirmed by
the director. Sorry, man.
Whatever.
Man, that's hilarious. I mean the Joker. The Joker. I was kind of. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hit or miss with it. I don't know. It's not necessary. I'm hit or miss with it, honestly. Like, I don't know if I like the Joker or if I don't like the Joker.
I've had enough of the Joker. I'm honestly sick of him. Just because like Batman's Rogues Gallery isn't just the Joker.
In general?
Yes.
Like, you just like
yes.
It's not even that. It's a character. It's not even the actor necessarily.
No, not even that necessarily. I mean, yeah, could he have done a better job? Yeah. Was it as authentic as I would have liked it? Probably not. But like, I don't care about that. It could have been.
You mean you're tired of always getting Joker?
Yes.
Like, as if he's the only villain that he has.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. As if that's Batman's only main.
So
villain.
they actually weren't going to put the Joker in it. There were two cuts. They were trying to decide, and they decided to do that. But the director did say that this does not mean he's going to be in a sequel or even in a movie in the future.
Okay.
And I will let you know that that Gotham. This is sorry for people who don't know. I like to follow the news on this stuff, but you know how there was supposed to be a Gotham PD show?
Yeah.
So that's kind of been retconned, and it morphed into an Arkham Asylum show, solely about the villains in Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
And because the director's take on the Joker was, he said, I kind of wanted to build a world where these villains already existed before Batman.
Yeah.
So he said that's what he was trying to show with the Joker, is that the Joker exists.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
that he's important to the story, but that it does.
That there's other villains out there
that already established them. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair then. I just don't want him in a movie because we've done enough with the Joker.
I guarantee you he's going to be in a movie though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know that.
But it would be nice if he wasn't in the sequel.
That was my reaction. That was why I was reacting.
Or if they do an Arkham Asylum show, that would be really cool. Like, I would like to see the Joker in that. I would.
Yeah.
But with other villains, right?
Yeah. Let's just like remember that. Like, again, Batman's Rogues Gallery is one of the deepest Rogues Gallery that almost any superhero has. So like, just making the Joker the only problem isn't always promotive to Batman, because it kind of focuses more on Joker. Like The Dark Knight, he does an amazing job. Not taking anything away from him, but the movie becomes more about the Joker than it does about Batman. And I think that lessens the value of Batman in the movie, because now you're just watching it for a Joker movie.
Yeah.
And again, Batman's Rogues Gallery is so deep that you can really pick anybody and tell an amazing story. Like this one with the Riddler that we just told was an amazing story about another orphan, similar to Bruce Wayne, who also his parents were died, who was left just basically by himself.
I'd like to see an accurate take on Poison Ivy.
Yeah, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, another Two-Face movie. I'm down with Two-Face again.
There's talks of them doing a Mr. Freeze in this universe, that would be.
We haven't gotten Mr. Freeze yet.
You don't like Arnold Schwarzenegger? I used to see you, Batman.
When you
can handle the chill, I'm going to give you the cold shoulder. That wasn't a great Arnold, but anyway. Hush was hinted at, which I would like Hush. That's a story that would very much fit in this universe. Would you want Hush, or are you kind of over Hush? Because they've done him in other media a lot in the recent couple of years.
Yeah, I just want to shine some lights on some other villains who also have complex stories.
We're both kind of into the ventriloquist. If you guys don't know who that is,
the ventriloquist, yeah,
I would like to see that. It's just we've talked about it before.
Scarface,
on the show.
yeah,
Scarface, yeah,
but also there are other characters like Clayface. I think Clayface would be an amazing villain.
Would be good.
That'd be an amazing story to tell,
especially if you show his origin.
Yeah, or Solomon Grundy. That would be another cool story.
Yeah, everybody always uses him as like a gun for hire, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for in the Gotham show, which I don't think they did him very well.
No.
It's kind of weird.
No. That's probably one of the worst villains they did.
Yeah, with Solomon Grundy. Yeah, that's true.
Next to Bane he wasn't too bad, but he was bad enough.
There's Firefly. We've never seen Lady Shiva.
Yeah, Lady Shiva. Or Deathstroke. Deathstroke could be another amazing villain to do.
Yeah, they could. They could.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of technically have an existed DCU. He was good in that role, but anyways, I mean, I think I like the Riddler. The thing is, here's the thing. I was happy that they didn't do at the end of the movie. I was happy they didn't kill the Riddler.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that I don't like about Marvel. Marvel always kills their villains off. Like,
and you don't get to see a repeat of.
Yeah, or like a team up, or like, like I would love to eventually see a movie that culminates with like Batman, a lot of Batman's villains coming together.
Yeah.
To take him down.
That is one of the main storylines in Batman is that he doesn't kill his villains, and that's what sponsors Jason Todd to become Red Hood is because he's like, you should have killed him.
It's funny because in a lot of the Batman movies, the villains have died.
Yeah.
A lot of them have, even though that's like, I mean, technically that's a semi-modern take on the character, considering how old he is, right? Like, it's probably the past, 40 years?
I think that they're like, well, people are going to be asking, what about this guy, what about this guy, what about this guy? So it's just better to just kill him off so people don't have to think about him anymore. I get that, but again, like one of the main things about Batman is that he doesn't kill his villain, and so they keep coming back to wreak more havoc on people.
Yeah, like I'd love to see the Riddler break out.
Yeah,
like and do, but I don't know if I want another movie all about him.
No.
But I would like to see him maybe working with somebody, or maybe the main villain.
Maybe like how they did like in Nolan's films.
In the third one.
Well, like in each film, he appears. He appears in each film.
Oh, the Scarecrow?
Yeah,
Scarecrow does.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, that was really cool. I liked seeing that.
He was like a background player, but he did have a presence in the film.
Yeah. Which it's funny because you don't pick up on that until like you don't pick up on that until like you see all three movies.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh snap, he's in every.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until
Yeah, it's crazy. So I would like to see something like that. Scarecrow's been done quite a bit recently.
Yeah. I'm full of Scarecrow too.
Yeah, but there's so many. I mean, I'd like to see Professor Pig, which would be interesting.
We could do Ra's again. I'd be down for Ra's.
I would be down for Ra's again.
A deep Ra's story.
You could do a little bit of a different take on it. I don't know if people would want it though.
Really?
Well, The Dark Knight Rises really turned a lot of people off to Ra's al Ghul.
And that's crazy to me because Liam Neeson did such a good job.
He did a great job. I don't know if I could see another person be Ra's al Ghul. You know what I mean?
He did look.
He trained the Batman. He gave the Batmans his power. Anyways, that's a great actor. He did a great job.
He really looked the part too, which is what really got me. I wouldn't mind Hush. Just because if you totally
it would be very different.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a real life take on him yet. We've seen the animated.
Even the animated movie was different.
Yeah,
they went a different route with it.
Wasn't it? It did turn out to be a Riddler, right?
Yeah, it did, which was weird.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I kind of wanted to see like a normal portrayal. I was like, why'd you guys twist it? I don't want to read the comic book. Like, it's sad, but I'd like to see that. There's just a lot of characters. We could honestly have we ever gotten? I would like to see a Harley Quinn in a Batman universe. To be honest, but
do you think they would actually do that though? With Margot Robbie?
Probably not. Probably not. But I would like to see that. I mean, we haven't really seen that.
Come on, man! It's not a Harley Quinn show.
That's
Are you even watching the show?
Live action, man. Yes, I watched the show. I told you. Oh gosh, I've watched the whole show. I'd also like to see. Sorry, we're kind of ranting about this is what I want to see. We need to shut down the stream soon. But we're having fun. I would like to see. They actually just introduced a newer character in the comics called. Crap. She was in the most recent maybe a year or 2 years ago, one of the lines that was going on. What's her name? I'm gonna pull her up real fast for you guys. No. It's she's really new. It's Punchline. Her name's Punchline.
Wow.
Have you heard of her?
No.
She's a new character, kind of like a Harley Quinn, but not. She is. Let me say this. I will say this. She's got an interesting character design, but she's basically what Harley Quinn was before Harley Quinn became an anti-hero. Oh. But she's more of a killer. So she's more murderous than Harley Quinn, if that makes sense. But she got a lot of beloved. She was very beloved. Once she was created, a lot of people liked her. She's kind of got a clown look.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so she's fairly new. I'd say the last 2 years she was created. Here, I'll show it. I'll show it to the people who are watching on the screen, just so they can kind of see what she looks like. So this is kind of her right here is kind of like her look. She's kind of, you know, she's based off of the Joker. In this storyline, what happens is he basically dumps Harley Quinn, and he gets with her, and she kind of. But the thing is, she likes the murderous side. So it's kind of like they're reflected in Joker. So like she likes the murderous side of Joker, and Harley Quinn kind of likes the fun, dangerous, you know, like fun, like dangerous, fun-loving side, the comedy side of Joker. And so that's kind of like what they fight about a little bit. And so it was interesting. It was an interesting take. I thought the story was kind of interesting, but she ends up actually being the villain of that run, which is kind of weird. Like I don't know, it's the Joker, right? Like you should just leave it. But yeah, interesting. You know, like he's getting. What I'm trying to say is like Batman's also getting more characters added. You know that like he's got such a big catalog that they can pick from. You don't need to have the same ones over and over again. Riddler was great, and I'm fine with doing like realistic takes on older villains that we've had before. Like I'm fine with it, like Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, maybe a Bane, not the next movie, but maybe later on down the line. I don't know how many they're gonna do with Robert Pattinson, but
I would love to see Bane actually break his back as like steroid monster.
As a steroid, you want to see him literally like flex him like a pretzel.
Yeah, just really like put him over his
dang. That's I don't know, man. They could do a lot. The movie was very good. I felt like, contrary to other reviews I've heard, I felt like the director really understood who Batman was and who Batman is. So that makes me think he's got some good plans in the future.
Yeah.
But this is mine and Jonathan's take is like, so the Riddler, right? He had kind of a different costume. They made him look more serial killer-ish. I kind of want to see him in his classic costume. You know, I want to see him in the suit with the question marks on it. You know, and I want to.
You can make it stylish. Like if you watch Gotham show, he didn't look campy at all when he put on his Riddler.
No, he looked really good. Actually,
really, really good. Yeah.
People hate on Gotham a lot, but it had a lot of good villain origin stories.
Mm-hmm.
It had a lot of the art. It had a lot of artistic drive and like in the costumes and stuff like that, costume design.
You don't have to go full Jim Carrey here. There's a realistic way you can do this.
Even a lot of the even in the Arkham shows, they kind of make him his clothes are like a darker hue of green. So he's got like a green hat and he's got a solid gold cane, but like everything about him is kind of toned down a little bit. You can even make his jacket look a little worn. You know, like you can make it look to where he's not like. Where it becomes campy is when it's like bright and colorful, and you know, like that doesn't fit with the tone of the show. But you could definitely make it work however you wanted it to. So, but anyways, what did you not like about the movie? Because I never asked you that.
No, I was agreeing with you. The same things you disliked. The cowl is still the collar on his.
You don't like the collar?
His suit, it still bugs me so much.
Really? I like the collar.
I really don't like it. I thought I was gonna like it more the second time around, but I really didn't like it. It dug at me because I love everything else about his outfit, and it's just collar. I was like, why is there a collar? I don't need a collar. But whatever. Hopefully we get another suit. What else? I still don't love Falcone. I think he didn't feel imposing to me. Like.
I liked Falcone a lot personally, but that's just me. I heard about a story about how he acted. He was getting interviewed, and I guess his dad, because he's Italian, the guy who plays him, and his dad, I guess, used to work in a place that, like, I guess the mafia owned.
Yeah.
And so he would bring his son to work, and he was like, he would tell the actor, who's the son, his father would tell him, like, don't look into his eyes. He's like, whatever you do, don't look into his eyes, because his dad told him, like, for some reason, like with mobsters and things like that, there's something when you meet the head of a family, there's something really seductive in their eyes that you kind of want to dive into, which is really an interesting. I hadn't thought of that before. It's very weird, but kind of interesting at the same time. But I guess that's how he tried to play him, was like soft spoken, kind of like something mesmerizing about him. So I liked that, but not everybody will. So, But anyways, oh sorry, I'm reading the comment.
Could be interesting. The guy who says, "Do I know you?"
Oh yeah, that could be like the person who kills his parents.
Could be. Maybe figure that out in the second movie. Who kills his parents?
If you guys are watching on the YouTube side, this is what we're talking about. And then he said he wondered if that could be the mugger. Anyways, you were saying.
I do think a lot of times why they don't go with Batman's deep rogue scholar is because maybe people just don't know these characters as like how am I calling people normies, but maybe the people who aren't as educated on his lore don't know these characters, so they won't come out and watch the movie. Yeah. But I think that with the success of this movie, you should be able to do something a little bit more
outside
different.
of the box.
Yes. Like a lesser known character who does have a very rich backstory.
Man-Bat, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Azrael, that would also be interesting.
Azrael would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the quarter battles have been done a lot, but that would be interesting for me from a movie perspective.
Yeah.
So funny piece of news though, Nicolas Cage. They asked him. He actually gave a really funny answer. Not what I thought he was going to be. So he was originally. So they were going to make another movie after Batman and Robin. It's called like Batman Ultimatum or something like that, or Batman Ultimate, or something.
Doesn't he want to be Superman?
He was. Well, yeah, he was for Superman, the Superman movie that was going to come out around that time.
No, I'm saying I thought like he had like some sort of like really passionate desire to be Superman or something like that.
Tim Burton was going to make him Superman.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim Burton was going to make him Superman for the Tim Burton Superman movie that didn't get off the ground. But anyways, he was supposed to, in that Batman movie that was never finished because Batman and Robin did so bad, he was going to play Scarecrow. Is what he was going to be, which would have been interesting. So I thought he was going to say that.
That's a really crazy guy.
Yeah, they asked him. They said, "Did you see the Batman?" I think he said, "Yeah." And then they asked him. Who. I think our comment person already knows. They asked him who he wants to play as in the Batman movies, and he said, "I want to be." He says, "Egghead." He says, "Egghead." He says, "I love seeing Egghead from the classic Batman '66 show," and he says, "I have a really interesting, wonderful take that I could do on that character." He's like, "Just have Warner Brothers call me." Egghead, yeah, it was played by Vincent Price. I don't actually know if it's in the comics or not.
A guy named Egghead.
He is. I guess he's supposed to be an intellectual. He reminds me of who's the Hulk villain? Who's got is it the Thinker? The Hulk villain who's got like
the massive brain. No, yeah. What are we talking about?
He's kind of like him, anyways. It's kind of what it looks like. It's him right there. I don't know if he's ever been in DC Comics. It's Vincent Price who played him. And I don't think that would be interesting if they took something from the old show and made it like kind of creepy.
The Leader, that's his name.
The Leader, yeah, he's kind of like the Leader. That's what I like in him too.
Egghead.
Anyways, that's him. That's Egghead, man.
Anyway,
I mean, I'd be down to watch it. I would watch it just to see what they would do. Like, I just want to live in a universe where that kind of exists. To be honest.
I didn't. Ave Maria still is too much for me. It was still too much in the movie. If you had played it like 3 times, one at the beginning, one in the middle, and then let Riddler sing it and then carry it off.
It was kind of played a lot, yeah.
That was fine, but it was just so often it was played. It was almost like the Wonder Woman theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't love the car. It was fine. I thought that the sequence of events that happened with him in the car were pretty cool, but the car just wasn't anything special to me. And I thought Penguin drove way too well in the rain, in traffic, trying to avoid Batman. Like I just like he was driving so well.
Expert, man. I mean, I don't know. I can't.
But I did love the scene. I did love the scene though. I did love the scene, and I loved him going, "I got you." Like that was hilarious. And then Batman just comes out of the fire, and then Batman flips him, and he like walks slidingly over to him, just like super slow, and just like,
"Hey, man, I'm here to get you." Yeah, that was great.
Did you call it your blade?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, Carmine. I think that. Oh, I still the one Batarang is still. I'm nitpicking, guys. Okay, this is like nitpicky stuff. This is like small stuff that is inconsequential to the whole overall story. But the one battering was just annoying to me. Honestly, it was just annoying to me that he only had one. That's crazy that you would only have one. But we don't know the purpose of what he had it for anyway. It's just like it was a symbol, and then he took it off one time to like cut something, and then he threw it once. And I was like, oh, okay.
Did he throw it? I don't remember him throwing it.
I thought at the last scene he threw it.
Maybe he did.
But everything else I loved. I loved the movie. I really did like the movie a lot. A lot more than I did the first time I watched it. And so it probably had a higher rating for me, like maybe like an 8.5, maybe a 9.
Yeah, 8.5 or a 9. Yeah. I'm kind of like I'm hovering around an 8 to an 8.5, like somewhere in there. Like maybe 8 between 8 and 9 definitely.
Yeah,
somewhere in there. I'm not sure.
If I'm being subjective, I still don't think it's better than Batman Begins. But if I'm being objective, it definitely is.
That's awesome. I'm being subjective. It's not.
I just love Batman Begins so much. I thought that was an amazing movie. I almost thought it was
the
better
thing
than
that I think about that makes me like that movie again is literally the first like probably 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. Like that is such a good. I love getting his origin. Like it was really cool.
Yes.
Because we'd never got, and that's probably what he needed, honestly. Like, because people were not going to take him seriously if they saw another guy in like just like spandex. Like in like a leather suit again, type of thing.
But I also love Liam Neeson in that movie. I love Liam Neeson in that movie. I love the message of the movie.
Yeah.
I loved every time him and Alfred quipped with each other.
Yeah.
That movie was really, really good to me.
Commissioner Gordon, man, he's really good in those movies. He's really good in those movies.
He is.
Which is weird, but also like kind of what you want.
Yeah.
You want him to have some sort of presence.
Yeah, I just don't like his jokes. I think his jokes are like
his jokes are stupid. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I can give me one of these. It's like, no, you don't. It's literally a Batmobile. You can't.
Like how you were like, who says that? Like my dad would say that. Like, yeah, that's funny. That's a funny line. Anyways, no, I don't think we've had narration like that in the live action movies. I don't think so, anyways.
Especially not from like the main character who is Batman.
Yeah. What about Val Kilmer? Did he have? I don't think so. I don't think he did. I want to say he did, but I don't think so. There was, the end of. No, not narration. Not narration. No. Okay. But I thought it was a really good. I thought it was a really good movie. Also, yes, I think that was Venom at the end of when he stabbed himself. I mean, there's no other explanation. It's not just adrenaline. Adrenaline's not green. Adrenaline isn't.
Is that a scientific fact?
Also, did you notice that he had a specific place that opened up?
Yeah,
he had
a little hole.
And I was like, that's interesting. So he made that for a specific purpose. Probably with something in mind, not just like I'm gonna need to inject myself with serums from time to time. Like he probably, if he's using Venom, then I think that. I agree with our commenter. The scene of him and the policeman was a lot better the second time I watched it. Him and the policeman, which one?
When they're trying to take off his cowl.
Yeah, he fought like a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're gonna go to prison for assaulting an officer." He's like, "It was 3." I was like, "Oh snap!" He's really not afraid. It's like it's 3 officers or something.
That's the part where he's like, "You gotta hit him in the face," and then later on he's like, "You could have pulled your punch, man." It's like, "I did."
So great, man. So great. Anyways, well, I think we're going to call it good. That was an hour more than we actually were going to do, I think. But it's all good. It's fun times. It's
a great movie. Go see it, please. Support this film so we can get 8 more like it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's always fun. We love it when you guys comment, too, because it helps us. We love to... We hope to one day have a show where we can, just pull up comments and just have a Q&A about different stuff. So, anyways, I know those are great. He's got all the lines memorized, man, or she. I don't know if it's a guy or girl or what have you. But anyways, pleasure talking to all you guys. Hey, thank you for the subscription. We appreciate that. We got to give you a shout out to Rain. Awesome. Thank you for the comments.
Will we be back Saturday?
So we usually stream on Saturdays.
Saturdays.
This was a special stream because we were going to be together.
Yeah.
We usually are. We live a few states away, so we're usually across. You can look at our other episodes, but Anyways, we appreciate you guys for watching and subscribing. And anyways, I am Eric. This is Jonathan. And this has been Just Visiting. So we're going to go ahead and do the outro. So anyways, anything else you want to say before we leave?
No.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Stay safe wherever you're at. Bye.